Welcome back everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I've been thinking to talk about asymmetric battles, the new upcoming battles that you tier 5, tier 6 ship will face tier 8. Of course, on the we all need to start because we need to gain at least 500 tokens to play the tier 7s and tier 8s ships. So first thing is first, I'm thinking to share with you my thoughts about the tier 5 ships. Some are broken strong and some of them are alright-ish. I believe most of tier 6 battleships are pretty damn fun and pretty damn strong. There are quite a few which is absolutely hilarious strong, but I will talk about the tier 5. For the tier 5 guys, I believe that some of you guys can do well in German, like the König and some other battleship. But let's talk about very fast about the armor. We see this side, it's 19 millimeters. Of course, here's there's a lot of armor, and of course 30 millimeter. However, remember that you will face tier 8 ships, so no matter the angle, probably your armor will not cut it. On the other hand, if you, let's say, go for something more beefier, what is beefier? This thing, this is absolutely a powerhouse, and I'll show you the reason why. Over here it's 75. If your angle, not even the tier 10 can overmatch this thing. It has too much of armor. As a matter of fact, it has so much armor, some tier 8 cruiser will very have hard, if they don't aim for the superstructure, to pen you anywhere. You have too much of the armor for tier 5. Hell, you will even beat some tier 8 in armor, for crying out loud. So my recommendation, it's very simple. Pick the Soviet battleship. They have hard hitting guns and the accuracy are fantastic. And I would like to say that for me, I'm just saying, for me, of all tier 5 ships, I'll take and I'll show you two which are my favorite. She does not have the best armor, she has a mediocre armor, but what makes her extremely special for someone who doesn't own this ship, she's not available. We're getting taught that this is absolutely overpowered and they took away from the premium shop. Anyhow guys, the Giulio Cesare, it's more like super cruiser. Yes, you heard me right. The armor, what armor? It's very bad armor. No matter how you angle, you are gonna eat a lot of you know, full damage from everything, especially from HE spammer like tier 8 cruisers. However, you still have heal, but most of cases you have one of the most accurate guns in this game at tier 5. You have pinpoint accuracy and you can dodge left, right and left. Though if you don't own this ship, well, the chain thing, this is the most maneuverable battleship at tier 5. No one, probably not even a tier 6, can close how easy it's this thing to turn left and right. And the accuracy, it's fantastic. The pen, it's absolutely nice. And your main focus, it's not the battleship like Bismarck. Your main focus is all cruisers. And hell, I highly recommend even to aim for the destroyers. You have such a great, good looking pen, and most of it's accuracy. They are extremely accuracy, and the chance to put your enemy on fire, it's fantastic. If, let's say, if someone it's bow on, okay, I do have to apologize. I do believe it's close to 35% or something, or even more. I have to apologize, I kind of forgot. Let's talk about the guns now. Reload time 30 seconds, maximum HE 4800 and AP 9700, but it's pretty high percent to put your enemy on fire if someone is bow on. That is for fact. Well, this is absolutely the most broken tier 5 battleships, and of course the best killer and ninja, it's absolutely this one. You will outspot everyone. Remember guys, the Bismarck has hydro and secondary, so you have to choose your target, and remember, and probably the most important is you will face radar cruisers, and then you probably won't have such a good looking time when there's Cleveland or some other tier 8 radar cruiser. So I'm a mixed bag about this ship, you know what I mean. So I believe that, yeah, Congo can do fine long range. You cannot be wrong about that. And tier 5 cruisers, actually, I do not recognize. Not even the most heavily armed Furutaka. Yes, the Furutaka, it's probably one small beast and very good armor for tier 5, probably with the best armor tier 5 cruiser in this game, with a lot of gimmicks. I'm talking about torpedo, hydro, you name it. It could work. You have a high percent to put your enemy on fire. This is probably the only tier 5 cruisers I would recommend. Don't take anything else, because yeah, you're too damn squishy. You cannot angle for a bit and so on. Yeah. However, guys, I honestly believe that I covered most of the Cunning. It's a DPM monster. Sure, you can do well, and Daka. I used to love this ship a lot. However, she's too damn squishy. I mean, you have good DPM, but if you can be Citadel from every single angle, how fun it's that, you know what I mean? So yeah, in that regard, just pay attention to armor layout, how thin she's made of citadels, and very thin. I'm talking about 13 millimeters. It's almost a destroyer armor, for crying out loud. 10 millimeters. 30 millimeters can be overmatched by everything. And if you compare with Furutaka, over here it's different story, guys. It is definitely over here. The biggest difference is right here and right here. Yeah, but they are tier 5, you know how it should be harder, because you're after all 12 tier 5 ships versus probably tier 6 tier 8 ships, so it's 12 versus 6, you know what I mean. But now guys, let's talk about something else, and I believe, guys, without saying too much, let's talk about tier 6 ships, because after all you can play tier 6 as well. At tier 6, guys, there's a lot of premium left and right. I believe most premiums are pretty damn strong. I'm talking about Warspite, and there's a lot of destroyer. The king of all tier 6 destroyers is T-61. The German one, it's absolutely a murder machine. But for me, guys, the biggest, strongest, badass battleship is the Ismail. Ismail does not have any superstructure whatsoever, but she does have a lot of guns. And guys, trust me what I'm gonna say right now, those guns are accuracy. I mean, not from the max range, but let's say if you're within 12 kilometers, those guns hurt like mothers. You will blap all cruisers. Does not matter if that cruiser is a tier 10, for crying out loud. Especially tier 8, you have no problem whatsoever to deal with any cruisers whatsoever. And guys, in that regard, even if you don't one-shot battleship, because you cannot do that, however, you do believe you're gonna do a lot of damage even versus tier 8 battleships, and they have very accurate guns. The only downsides with this ship, and it's kind of important, if you're straight, you only have 3 guns. You kind of need to show you a lot of broadside to use all the guns, and you're kind of slow to turn back. That's the only her weakness. The armor, it's fantastic. I mean, just look at this. Yeah. It's the Soviet armor. It's absolutely a murder machine. In my honestly opinion, one of the strongest tier 6 battleships out there. Of course, guys, there are war spy, there are some other battleships left and right. But I believe, guys, at tier 6 you have much more, shall I say, strong cruisers. One of I actually very much recommend if you have her, it's the London. You have smoke, heel, torpedo, and pretty good guns. Of course, you're made of citadels, but remember, guys, remember, and this is kind of important, you have pretty good tools to be a good cruiser. The only downside is with this ship, that's the only, her range is absolutely hilarious bad. It's only 15 seconds. What is the damn range? I do believe 12-13 kilometers or something. It's man, where can I see the range? Reload 15 seconds, yeah. 13.4. 13.4, oh my lord, even the tier 5 Furutaka has better range. So keep that, guys, in mind. That sure, you have a pretty damn strong cruiser at tier 6 with smoke and all that, you know, biffy good guns. On the other hand, you have terrible range, and same story it is with Leander, which I believe dealing with tier 8 ships, this ship is strong, but remember, once again, even if you don't have the smoke, there will be most likely a radar cruiser, and then you kind of have a hard time. What else, guys, shall I talk about the tier 6? There is several ships. I mean, you cannot go wrong with Bugioni, you cannot go wrong with many other ships. The strength about this Bugioni has laser guns, very long range for tier 6, and pretty good guns, crazy good guns, guys. There's French de Grasse, there's a lot of good looking cruisers. So at tier 6 you have a buttloads of variety. I mean, you have, you know, really darn good guns for its tier. What else shall I talk about? Of course, best torpedoes at this tier, it's, remember, still Fubuki. Fubuki can be crazy strong torpedo boat. She's the only one with 10 kilometers torpedoes, and yeah, pure torpedo boat. But remember, guys, and this is the most important, some German vessels, they do have more than 10 kilometers in secondary range, and of course they do have hydro. And same story over there, it's that you may face some radar cruisers. However, if a smart Fubuki player knows, he can still work and still do buttloads of damage. Because you see, guys, the strength about this ship, she has 3 launchers. 3 launchers is a big thing, guys, because you don't need all 9 torpedo hits to kill a full HP battleship. All you need to do is just make sure you land at least 1 or 2, and then make sure the second or the third launcher will hit a second time, and that is GG for that battleship. Those torpedoes are not a joke. They are very hard hitting torpedoes. And guys, there is a Shinome, there is a lot of other ships that could do well, but it's much shorter range. I'm talking about only 8 kilometers torpedo, so could actually work or could not work, because the truth is, you're always in radar range. And one of my favorite destroyers, it's actually the Fusion and Anshan. The Fusion has 80 kilometers torpedo, very good gun, both good smoke, one of the best smoke in this game, and very good guns. Could definitely be a powerhouse in right hands. Westeros, it's something definitely to keep that in mind. I believe she's a very good all-rounder. I just wondering, I kind of forgot her torpedoes. Yeah, 10 kilometers, 68 knots. Sure, you only have 6 torpedoes, and that's a bomber versus Fubuki 9. But I do believe they reload pretty damn fast, right? 53 seconds and 10 kilometers. Yep, they definitely do. On the other hand, you don't have smoke, keep that in mind. But I find this ship pretty interesting. Concealment, it's 6.2. It's almost as concealed as, let's say, Fubuki and Shinome. I do believe they have 6.1 in concealment. No, I don't have any damn captain. 6.2, it's alright. Let's say the Fusion, because he has a captain. Fusion has 6.3. But if we put a camo, any camo, it's 6.1. I do believe that's the same concealment as the Fubuki. 6.1, and you have Westeros, you have the 6.2. Yeah, I believe, guys, without saying too much, that there is a lot of tier 6 good looking premiums, especially battleships and cruisers. And I also forgot to mention that there are, of course, tier 6 premium and non-premium aircraft carrier. I believe if you know how to play the CV, you will struggle doing very well versus tier 8 cruisers, because your AAA or the AA is too strong. But I still honestly believe spotting and doing some other stuff, it's pretty strong. And remember, and this is the final word I would like to say, this CV, when you're using the dive bombers, they fly above the flag, which basically you always can make at least one drop. Yes, you heard me right. This is the only carrier that literally, I don't know, this is the easiest way. You fly above the flag, you take very little damage, and you manage to always do your drop. And of course, you have to disengage. You can only engage once a tier 8 ship, because, you know, if the enemy has a USS Massachusetts, then probably you're never gonna do any damage whatsoever. So that's it is the problem. Some tier 8 US battleship are too damn strong for a tier 6 carrier. So I actually do not recommend, if you don't know how to play the carrier, because the tier 8 some full spec 19 points captain, let's say USS Massachusetts, they are almost immune versus tier 6 planes. That's the truth, guys. So yeah, do whatever you want. I'm not saying that you cannot do a significant part of your job, spotting and take the low damage and secure the win and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, but it's just that you will have very hard to do significant damage in a tier 6 versus tier 8 ships. That's for a fact, you know what I mean. So let me know in the comment below what you think about all those tier 5, tier 6. I believe they are pretty fun, and I very much like to play this game mode. It's a new, it's a fresh, and very much looking forward. So guys, thanks guys for watching, and always captains, fair seas, and goodbye.